Tonight on CTV News at 6, a pay-for-plasma company pauses operations. 2 Edmonton clinics affected after a Health Canada report and 2 donor deaths in Winnipeg.
We are making sure that our plasma supply is safe.
The effects of Edmonton's highly humid summer.
Being that we are a drier climate, this is a little bit more unusual.
And a 12-year-old local Pokémon master soon to compete against the best in the world.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. A private plasma collection clinic has paused its operations across Canada, including its 2 locations in Edmonton. CTV's Connor Hogg joins us now with more. Connor, what led to the closure?
Jeff, this started last year when a person who gave plasma at a Grifols location in Winnipeg later died. A few months later, another donor in that city died. In the months since, Health Canada has been investigating locations across Canada. It's issued non-compliance ratings at several Grifols locations, including one in Calgary. Grifols is now pausing plasma collection nationwide. It says that's because of unfounded attention focused on its business model. It says it will resume operations as soon as it can. Alberta's Hospital and Surgical Health Services Minister says steps have been taken to confirm Albertans' safety.
Following what happened in Manitoba, that there was a review of our processes, and my understanding is that there is that we are being compliant and that we are making sure that our plasma supply is safe.
Health Canada's investigation into the deaths ended without finding a direct link to the Winnipeg clinic. Still, it says it welcomes Grifols' decision to pause collection. Chris Galloway of Friends of Medicare says that decision is too late.
It's been months since we learned that 2 individuals died after selling their plasma at one of these sites. We've seen repeated concerns from regulatory concerns in Calgary and elsewhere being in non-compliance with safety measures. And now finally we're seeing some action from the company. But it's not good enough. We need action from our government, from our regulator, from Health Canada.
Health Canada says the pause in collection at Grifols locations will not have an impact on Canada's blood supply. Canadian Blood Services says it doesn't expect any disruptions to plasma-related services. Jeff?
All right, Connor, thank you. That's Connor Hogg live tonight. The Alberta Prosperity Project, an organization pushing for Alberta independence, is distancing itself from a speaker who took the stage at a town hall last night in Airdrie. APP CEO Mitch Sylvester says Ian Parkinson won't be asked to speak at any future events after this comment.
Every citizen has the right to life, liberty, and security of the person. Your own security, not some flip-flop police officer who doesn't even speak Canadian.
Parkinson is a pro-separatist from Medicine Hat. He also sits on the government of Alberta's Southeast Alberta Regional Advisory Council overlooking healthcare. At the town hall, he was brought out to discuss a document the APP introduced called the Foundation of Freedom, a draft constitution for an independent Alberta. As he explained, the first right of the draft, every citizen has the right to life, liberty, and security of person. He honed in on an individual's security and made disparaging hypothetical remarks about a turban-wearing police officer. Today, Sylvester said his organization doesn't condone or tolerate Parkinson's comments. Elections Alberta says it is seeing a rise in misinformation and disinformation campaigns leading up to the October 19th referendum vote. It says the latest misinformation campaign is focused on voter registrations and specifically the online VoterLink tool. VoterLink allows people to register to vote for the first time in Alberta, view their registration, and update their name or address if it has changed. It says nobody can remove or delete a voter registration using the tool. Elections Alberta says if you have voted in previous provincial elections and have not moved or changed your name, you are likely registered to vote. The province is delaying a rule that says only the flags of Canada and Alberta can be flown in schools. The new rules were expected to come into effect on September the 1st. They stem from a bill passed in the spring. The government says it's meant to remove ideology from the classroom. Parts of the bill will still take effect in September, including a new student code of conduct. The Education Minister will also have new power to set priorities for school boards. Government says it's taking a measured approach to make sure the new rules are brought in effectively. As the school year approaches, there has been a reported rise in anxiety and depression. The Kids Help Phone is seeing a higher demand for its services. Here's Curtis Goodrum with advice for kids and parents.
With class right around the corner for thousands of Alberta students, back-to-school anxiety is rising for some.
I definitely think a big factor is the start of a school year.
Kids Help Phone says it's seeing a sharp increase of children reaching out. A crisis text every 90 seconds, mostly at night, is up 24% from last year.
Maybe stressful events are happening and you don't really have time to process it, and it's only at night when you can process the emotions you felt during the day.
Kids Help Phone says Alberta calls and texts are up 29% in the first 6 months of this year.
A big one's definitely feeling anxious about the future.
A local psychologist says more families than ever are coming in worried about their child's mental health at school.
There's new teachers, new friends, new kids around you, classmates. You're not sure about the workload every year. When you go into a higher grade, there becomes more academic pressure as well.
The psychologist says social media is behind a lot of the stress kids feel. However, an outright phone ban is not always the best choice.
I think open communication is really great for kids and their parents. So if they feel like they have a safe space to talk about things, they're not feeling judged, that can really help.
She says self-diagnosis has increased with people entrusting AI instead of professionals, and cautions against it.
Well, anyone can use AI, ChatGPT, anything you want to use. But at the same time, there can be misinformation. ChatGPT isn't perfect. There can always be things that are not true, and not every symptom can apply to you always.
The advice for parents: look out for unusual patterns in their kids' behavior and address issues without judgment. Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
A scavenger hunt around West Edmonton Mall is preparing kids for the school year in a fun way. Select high school students visited several stores in the mall to pick clothing, school supplies, and other items needed for back to school. The trip, called Ready, Set, School, was guided by Edmonton police officers. Each student was also given a laptop donated by Enbridge. Police Chief Warren Dreichel says it's about building relationships with youth and empowering them to succeed.
We've got affordability crisis, we have a lot of challenges in society, and those impacts come right down to the kid level. And these are future leaders, future citizens in our society, and if they don't get the support now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be successful later.
Ready, Set, School is supported by the Edmonton Police Foundation. The increasing cost of pencils, paper, and other supplies is being felt by families across the city as they start their back-to-school shopping. Evan Kenny has more on how to ease some of that pain.
They're not loving it, but we're getting it done, right?
Yeah.
Finding the things.
Let's go to school.
It's a bittersweet end to the summer for Michelle and her two boys.
Did you have a good summer break?
Yes, I loved it.
Now they're preparing for grade 1 and grade 3. Meanwhile, mom is getting ready to teach preschool.
I think getting back into routine is the hardest.
Today, they're back to school shopping.
The basics. We just were at Walmart, got some things, but they didn't have do-a-tangs.
An event that hurts the bank account more and more each year.
With kids myself, I think, wow, geez, it really starts to add up.
ATB Financial's chief economist says this year's shopping spree hurts more than normal because the cost of everything is high.
Households are spending more and more of their money on essential items like food and transportation. So a family going back to school has had more of their disposable income eaten up by higher costs elsewhere.
Families we spoke to have some tips to help ease the pain of the expensive bills.
Just the amount you have to get every year does add up. So I usually, at the end of the school year, try to squirrel away what I can and reuse it in the fall, and because they tend to bring back a lot of supplies too at the end of the year.
If you shop the sales, it's not too bad. Yeah, I got everything probably for under $150, including some back to school clothes. So just gotta shop around and find your deals and be patient, and try to be patient with your kids with you too. It's a little more challenging, but that's okay.
She'll only have to be patient with her kids for a few more weeks until they're back in school. Some Edmonton public schools start August 31st. Edmonton Catholic start September 2nd. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
It's felt muggy outside lately, something Edmontonians aren't typically used to dealing with. It's thanks in part to record rainfall in our region this year. As Amanda Anderson reports, humidity can create problems in your home.
This is what drivers had to contend with this morning, a thick blanket of fog that settled over the city.
Our temperature dropped off more than usual. It was below average seasonal low, and we saw that cooling and reached our dew point, so we were at maximum humidity that the temperature could hold in the air at that time. So that's when we saw the fog form.
Humidity is not something Edmontonians are used to, but have had to deal with quite a bit this summer.
Being that we are a drier climate, this is a little bit more unusual, but I wouldn't say it's so rare. Every few years we do kind of see our humidity bump up here and there.
CTV Edmonton's meteorologist says our record rain is to blame.
We're in an El Nino setup right now, so we're seeing things almost exaggerated in our area, where we're seeing exaggerated amounts of moisture in the atmosphere, leading to more storms, more rain, things like that.
The ground around your house is saturated, then inside your house is going to be wicking some of that moisture from outside through the concrete.
Mold removal expert Jordan Faulkner suggests closing windows to keep the humid air out and turning on the AC.
Air conditioner will wick the moisture out of the air and dry everything out. That's why they have the little condensate drain on the front side of your furnace that runs into the floor drain, because it takes the moisture out of the air.
If you don't have AC, open windows and use fans to keep the air circulating. A dehumidifier is also a good bet. People should check basements for cracks in the foundation. In finished basements, check for dampness on the walls or baseboards that start to bubble.
They started to bubble and you can see signs of water damage, then I would certainly have somebody out to have a look at it.
There's something else Albertans might notice with the added humidity.
Our skin, our hair, maybe looking a little bit healthier.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Stollery Children's Hospital is now home to a new modernized pediatric surgery clinic. The Stollery says its new space at the K Edmonton Clinic is designed to improve the hospital experience for patients and their families. It brings specialized services together in one location to improve care coordination. Families say it's the little details that can make a difference.
I actually find it's the small things that make a difference to the families rather than, like the big things. But because all of the small things just end up making your life so much easier, right? Like the charging ports, like the fact that the chairs are comfortable, like the fact that there's things for your kids to do, right?
Even though a standalone Stollery building is in the works, this new space was needed. It was funded through the nearly $14 million in donations and nearly $5 million from the government of Alberta. Kids Fringe kicked off today.
Who said an eagle? Awesome.
This area on the Fringe grounds is for those 12 years old and under and their families. There are activities, performers, and crafts for kids. Everything is free to keep it accessible.
All of them have the same feeling of what it means to them to be able to share this with their family without a cost having to be it. Because I think it's a miracle that they just get the kids out of the house and get here. You know what I mean? So we want to make sure that we put any more hardships on them past that.
Kids Fringe runs for the duration of the Fringe Festival. And here is a live look at the Fringe on this Friday night. Plenty of people down there enjoying the festival. That includes Josh Clausen joining us now with an early look at your weather forecast. Josh.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's enjoying the fact that it's finally not raining and the temperatures are a little bit warmer. And maybe no one's happier to see this forecast than the executive director of the Fringe, Megan Dart. How are you, Megan?
I'm so well, thank you.
Yeah, smiling and laughing as the sun is out a little bit. Weather looks great for this weekend. We just ran a story on Kids Fringe. Tell me about some of the new things at Big Kids Fringe, though, the main event.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to celebrate at Fringe this year. We have 209 theater productions by 1,600 artists in 37 venues. Tickets are selling so well, but there's lots to see yet. We are celebrating the expansion of our Indigenous-led Pehonan series this year. We have a community of teepees with demonstrations and interactive installations. It's so beautiful. It's such a wonderful way to catch your breath.
You were talking about the tours, the guided tours as well.
Yeah, we do. We have guided tours this year. So we understand choosing from 209 shows can be very overwhelming. overwhelming. But our Discover Fringe tours this year take all the guesswork out of it for you. We'll take you on a guided tour. We'll sort of give you a behind-the-curtain sneak peek of everything you need to know about Fringe. We'll take you to see a show. Then we'll take you to the beer garden. We'll eat some mini donuts. We'll have some green onion takes. We'll talk about the show, and then we'll help you plan the rest of your Fringe. It's an awesome
that you
way
say
to get started.
we'll help you, like you're talking to me directly.
Yes.
Like this is what I should do this weekend. This is actually what everybody should do. If they want more information on this or anything else, where do they go?
Head on over to fringetheater.ca. All the details are there.
Perfect. Megan, thank you.
Yeah.
Enjoy the weather this weekend. It looks fantastic. 20 degrees for a daytime high today. Should be even warmer Saturday, Sunday. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Josh. After the break, a fishy problem that won't go away.
We have over 100 goldfish infestations across the province.
Despite efforts to stamp out invasive fish, details about a new trouble spot. And one-of-a-kind attraction east of Edmonton set to celebrate a milestone.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Thousands of people forced to flee a wildfire in BC's Okanagan region are now being allowed to return home in phases. Residents of more than 2,000 properties can return after wildfire evacuation orders were lifted. And some positive news also for the communities of Summerland and Peachland, which have been devastated by the Bald Range wildfire. Hundreds of properties have been lowered from evacuation orders to alerts. More than 20,000 people have been displaced by the fires. Winds from the north are expected to clear the smoke for many parts of BC. The province is battling roughly 115 wildfires. 16 of them started in the past 24 hours. Following a review, the Alberta government will continue funding for Avalanche Canada for the next 3 years. The province will provide $750,000 over that time to Avalanche Canada. The not-for-profit group supports avalanche education, services, and training for those who use the backcountry, and also supports avalanche forecasting in Kananaskis country. Alberta's Parks Minister says it is important for multi-year funding deals to be reviewed before renewal to ensure the funding is in line with the government's values.
There was never a thought that we weren't going to fund. We just wanted to figure out what level of funding we should do, and we decided to continue the same funding that we've been given in the past.
The previous 3-year funding agreement expired in March. A storm pond in Calgary is the latest place where invasive fish have become a problem. Prussian carp and goldfish can multiply at an astonishing rate and cause a lot of damage. Kevin Green reports.
This pond in Evanston is the latest place in Calgary to be infested with invasive fish. Prussian carp have been reported here in the Northwest community. They're not native to Alberta, they reproduce quickly and are extremely difficult to control.
A female can spawn up to 3 times per year, 400,000 eggs per spawning event.
They don't even need another Prussian carp to do it.
They can utilize the sperm from other fish species to activate their eggs, resulting in all female clones.
Social media video shows how easily unwanted pets end up in a pond, and once released, even ordinary goldfish can grow to the size of a dinner plate. Invasive species like goldfish or their cousins Prussian carp aren't just a problem at this pond in northwest Calgary or even in this city. They've been found in ponds and lakes all across Alberta and indeed all across Canada.
With the goldfish, we have over 100 goldfish infestations across the province, Kevin, and that number grows all the time.
In Edmonton, crews have also had to remove the fish from stormwater ponds. They've jumped from the Red Deer River Basin to the North Saskatchewan, and they've had human help to do that.
The fish didn't move themselves there. Unlikely that that's going to be birds moving them that distance.
The fine for releasing fish where they don't belong is steep. In Calgary, a $3,000 bylaw infraction and a much more expensive provincial penalty.
It can come with a big fine, over $100,000 and or a year in prison.
The rogue fish have already made their way into Fish Creek, and other Calgary storm ponds have been drained, trying to wipe them out before they can get into the river system.
They outcompete and other native species of fish. They can eat the food that the other fish would naturally eat, and therefore causing native fish to die off.
Now the city is working on a 5-year plan to decide which ponds need action first. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
A party is being held this weekend to celebrate 25 years of a special landmark in Mundare. The world's largest sausage is turning 25. The 12-meter tall statue is about an hour east of Edmonton. Many Eastern Europeans settled in the Mundare area starting in the 1890s. The Stanici family has been making their famous sausage since 1959. A grand celebration will be held tomorrow during Mundare Agri Days. All proceeds from the Stanici barbecue will be going to a local charity for community initiatives. After the break, aiming to be the best in the world.
If you want to do well, you have to look at the good decks and say, am I going to play the best deck, or am I going to play a deck that can beat the best deck?
The work and strategy taking a local Pokémon player to the top.
A couple of dry days on the way, and temperatures finally returning to average through the weekend. Low to mid-20s on the way. Talk about that, let you know what's coming for next week, right after the break.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A local 12-year-old is heading to San Francisco later this month to compete against the best in the world at Pokémon. It's taken 2 years of dedicated training on the strategy-based card game to get there. And as Jeremy Thompson reports, the journey has taught him about more than just pocket monsters.
It may not look like it, but this is a training session.
Draw.
Every day, for about 2 hours, Bennett Hansen works on deck building and strategy for the Pokémon trading card game with coach and card shop employee Yoon Shin.
It's like sports, right? There's different styles like trap defense and like really high-octane offense. Like Bennett knows all the strategies.
Bennett picked up the hobby a couple years ago after collecting the cards got him interested in the game.
Started going to like the biggest local leagues, but then I was still always doing constantly well, so trying to get more of a challenge.
The search for stiffer competition took Bennett and his family to unfamiliar cities, then countries, then continents.
It's pretty funny reaction you get when you say, oh yeah, we're going on a weekend trip to Sao Paulo to play Pokemon cards, and people kind of look at you a little funny.
Every tournament, Bennett earned points, climbing the season rankings with each finish. His goal was to qualify for the World Finals. Only the top 80 players in North America make the cut. Bennett finished 17th, the only Albertan in his age group to qualify.
If you want to do well, you have to look at the good decks and say, am I going to play the best deck, or am I going to play a deck that can beat the best deck?
I love the soft skills that he's developing through all of this as well, advocating for himself, working with people, thinking 3-4 steps ahead on his side of the table and his opponents.
These major tournaments feature a bunch of different aspects of the Pokemon world. Well, some people are playing the card game, others are ripping packs and collecting.
That's what little brother Kendrick is into right now. Dad has even entered tournaments with Bennett.
Either mom or dad tend to do the trips with him. Sometimes we've gone as a family if it's somewhere special, like when we got the opportunity to go to London.
At the end of the month, they're heading to San Francisco, where Bennett will test his skills against more than 400 of the best players from around the world, with a crew of people who've helped him get there, cheering him on from home.
I feel proud. Like now, I kind of feel like, I'm his #1 cheerleader.
We've really felt nothing but love.
Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Let's go back down to the Fringe Festival now. Josh, it's another gloriously dry evening.
I like they say another.
Well, it's been a while. I'm just trying to be optimistic about it.
Haven't had a whole lot of these so far this summer. We should get a few more of them through the course of the weekend. Next week looks warm. There are some showers in the forecast for next week. We'll talk about that when we get to the 10-day forecast in a moment. No showers expected tonight, just partly cloudy skies. Take a look outside at the River Valley Skycam, and you can see we're at 20 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud in the Edmonton area right now. Wind has been pretty light through the day today, and I think it'll be light through the weekend. I don't think wind is going to be much of a factor. The big story is really the sunshine and the nice warm temperatures. 21 in Fort McMurray, 17 for a high in Red Deer today, 21 in Jasper, and 20 in Grand Prairie. It was another day with some funnel cloud sightings in parts of northeastern Alberta. Funnel cloud advisory still in effect for areas from Fort Saskatchewan northeast towards Fort McMurray, No real tornado threat here. These are cold core funnel clouds, but that advisory will probably stay in effect until 8:30 tonight. You can see we've had some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the northeast as well. Some heavier rain in the southeast corner, and here in Edmonton, some clearing through this afternoon. Now, it wasn't bright blue skies. I think that'll come for parts of tomorrow. Today it was, at best, kind of partly cloudy to a mix of sun and cloud. There's the clearing, though, for overnight tonight. Tomorrow morning, there might be a few thin clouds, but sunshine midday and through the afternoon hours in Edmonton and surrounding areas. Further west, though, showers and thunderstorms, maybe even some severe thunderstorms late in the day tomorrow through western Alberta. We'll see some of those showers and thunderstorms track east. I think there's a good chance Red Deer gets a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow evening. Here in Edmonton, that's a slight chance. If it does come through at all, it's going to be pretty spotty and should be somewhere around midnight or later. Sunday, we're back to sunshine through the day with some clouds and showers staying north of the Edmonton area. You see that band of cloud from Peace River to south of Fort McMurray that's producing some showers? That's a bit of a cold front. Watch what's happening in the upper levels. Over the next day or two, you get some warmer air building in. That's a pretty weak upper ridge, but it's a lot warmer in the mid and upper levels than it's been for the past couple of days. Briefly, it cools down. The flow kind of shifts back to the north on the backside of that Hudson Bay low. But we said briefly, by Tuesday, that should slide out of here and the warm air returns and another ridge takes over for next week. So you get temperatures in the low to mid 20s tomorrow and Sunday. A little cooler Monday with cloudy skies and a chance of showers, and then mid-20s and maybe even high 20s. I might be underestimating those daytime highs there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. As for right now, temperatures are in the 15 to 20 degree range across most of central and north central Alberta. A little warmer there in high level at 23 degrees. We started today at 9. We'll be in the 9 degree range again tomorrow. Partly cloudy this evening, a few clouds tomorrow morning, and then mainly sunny midday and early in the afternoon. Chance of showers there on Monday with a high of 20, but as we said, back into the mid-20s Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe late Wednesday, some more scattered showers or thunderstorms, and I think the following weekend, not this weekend, but the next weekend, pretty good chance of seeing some rain on the Saturday. So if you want to take in the Fringe, this is the perfect weekend weather-wise for it. As temperatures finally rebound, Jeff, back into the average range or slightly above average, and we finally get a couple of dry days.
Those days are going to be fantastic and enjoyed by the entire city. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
Coming up, why the U.S. president is asking Americans to pay a little more for gas.
A country, really, it's the #1 state sponsor of terror in the world.
Donald Trump's latest comments justifying the war in Iran. Plus,
Mr. Polyev, are you losing the confidence of caucus?
the leader of the federal conservatives questioned about support within his party. U.S. President Donald Trump says he'll soon declare the Strait of Hormuz a U.S. territory, urging Americans to accept slightly higher gasoline prices in the meantime.
We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. Do we agree? Can't let it. So for you to pay a tiny little bit more for your gasoline, just remember, you're doing it so that a very evil country cannot have a country. Really, it's the #1 state sponsor of terror in the world. We don't want to have them have a nuclear weapon.
The escalation comes after the International Energy Agency warned that global oil stockpiles are rapidly dwindling. Trump also dismissed concerns that the deployment of a U.S. aircraft carrier in the Middle East was too long after reports of poor conditions. The ship has been in the Middle East since January, with Trump saying it will move shortly or would be replaced by another very similar ship. We are learning new details about what's being put on the trade table between Canada and the U.S. Sources tell CTV News that a proposed framework does not include relief for one industry, and Americans want to see booze back on the shelves immediately. CTV's Michael Couture has more.
Less than a week before the August 19th deadline, CTV News has learned that the proposed deal between Canada and the U.S. does not include a reduction of tariffs on softwood lumber. Sources are also telling us that the U.S. side wants American alcohol to return to provincial store shelves immediately after the deal is signed. CTV News has spoken to one source on the Canadian side and one on the American side, and both have knowledge of what is happening at the negotiating table. 8 of 10 provinces have removed U.S. booze from their store shelves in response to U.S. President Donald Trump's ongoing trade threats. According to our sources, it has been the largest irritant on the American side. We're also hearing that the U.S. wanted to see the removal of Canadian counter tariffs on American autos, which were implemented as a response to the American sectoral tariffs. All of this is coming as Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and lead trade negotiator Janice Charette have been briefing the Prime Minister's Advisory Committee on Canada-U.S. Economic Relations. The Canadian negotiators have also briefed their provincial counterparts. Now, ahead of that briefing, BC Premier David Eby clearly laid out that any deal must include a reduction of tariffs for lumber.
The softwood lumber sector is bigger than auto parts and steel combined in terms of the Canadian economy, and it needs to be front and center at the table.
Sources are also telling CTV News that Grier intends to put the framework of a deal on President Trump's desk as early as Monday. Grier has also told multiple officials that everything will hinge on the president's mood when he's presented with that proposal. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Unifor says Stellantis is considering the closure and sale of an auto assembly plant in Brampton, Ontario.
To say that we are disappointed would be an understatement. This is a gut punch to our union and to our members.
The plant has been idle since 2023. A statement from Stellantis says it has nothing to announce at this time and that it's focused on finding a sustainable manufacturing solution for the plant. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre didn't answer today when asked about his leadership after a number of Conservative MPs expressed concerns to CTV News.
Mr. Poilievre, are you losing the confidence of caucus?
Poilievre didn't stop to speak to reporters as he met with workers at a manufacturing plant today in BC. The question came after CTV News spoke to caucus members raising concerns about his leadership, including some who don't think he'll still be party leader when the next federal election is called. The MPs were responding to questions about a recent Nanos poll commissioned by CTV News that found Prime Minister Mark Carney had no obvious challenger among Conservative politicians. Luigi Mangione pleaded guilty today in a New York courtroom to federal stalking charges in the killing of a healthcare executive. Mangione was charged by federal and state prosecutors with ambushing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a New York City hotel in 2024. The shooting turned Mangione into a public figure and ignited a firestorm of debate over the state of the U.S. health insurance industry. Mangione's legal team is now seeking to have his separate New York State murder case thrown out. A Canadian veteran is taking the Canadian Armed Forces to court alleging military discrimination. He's challenging the constitutionality of policies that allegedly ban potential new recruits who are living with HIV. CTV's Rachel Aiello has the details.
JB, whose identity CTV News has agreed to protect, served in active duty with the Canadian Armed Forces for 13 years. 5 years in, he was diagnosed by a military doctor with HIV. He began taking medication and continued serving for 8 more years, including deploying on a peacekeeping mission to Mali in 2019.
Living with HIV never made me feel different from the colleagues that I was serving with.
But after a voluntary release to pursue other career opportunities, JB tried to rejoin as reservist in 2024 and was denied.
And I was shocked when I received the rejection letter.
That letter from the recruiting medical office explicitly cited his HIV status, stating that because of this, he did not meet the military's enrollment standards.
My diagnosis seems to carry more weight than the record I already built in uniform.
The 38-year-old is now taking the Canadian military to court, challenging the constitutionality of their policies that list HIV as grounds for disqualification.
To deny carte blanche folks who are living with HIV just because they're living with HIV, it's discrimination.
JB's lawyers argue applicants shouldn't be rejected based on outdated stigma. They hope the challenge will prompt the armed forces to re-examine their rules.
From our perspective, both the science, the logistics, and the operational concerns
have been addressed by other NATO countries.
JB says he thinks this case could benefit all Canadians given the military's recruitment struggles, but hopes others living with HIV hear this message.
Don't let an HIV diagnosis convince you that you have less to offer your country.
CTV News asked both the Canadian Armed Forces and Defence Minister David McGuinty for comment on the court challenge and the policies at the centre of it. Neither responded by deadline. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Still to come, one of Canada's longest-running TV shows shot right here in Alberta.
When I took this job 20 years ago, I really don't think I knew just how much it was going to shape my life.
We catch up with the cast and crew of Heartland during a milestone year. And Open Farm Days returns this weekend. What to expect around the province. And there is a live look from the CTV drone. Old Strathcona, the Fringe Festival, now well underway. And nice weather for the next few days. Stay with us. Checking on today's market numbers, the Canadian dollar closed near 72 cents U.S. Oil was up $1.15, closing the day at $82.40 a barrel. Gold gained nearly $17. The TSX was down 29 points. The Dow Jones down 107. Alberta is home for one of Canada's longest-running television shows, and it's currently shooting its 20th season. The production has had a big impact on the province and the lives of the cast and crew, many of whom have been working on the show since the beginning. Alicia Fieldberg met up with some of them on set.
Alberta's scenery and culture fills millions of televisions worldwide thanks to a TV series now filming its 20th season.
26 Apple, take one. Hotel Mars.
Heartland follows a family running a horse ranch in a fictional Alberta town, but films entirely in real Alberta communities, including High River and Millerville.
When I took this job 20 years ago, I really don't think I knew just how much it was going to shape my life. It was season 3 when I decided to move full-time from Ontario out to Alberta.
Tom Erickson already lived here and loved horses, so applied to be the stunt coordinator back when the show began.
No idea that I was going to end up being a person that was involved with the motion picture business. It's been a whirlwind of experience, you know, rodeo, horse jumping, jousting.
Other Albertans worked their way up throughout the decades.
I started as a junior in the writing department 20 years ago.
Heartland holds the record as Canada's longest-running one-hour scripted drama series, something nobody saw coming when it started.
It's the holy grail as far as my industry is concerned, so would I be surprised? Yeah, shocked out of my boots.
It's a point of pride for Sean Johnston, who grew up on a Ponoka farm.
Bringing this territory and this kind of people to the world is something we can be proud of.
Heartland has created thousands of local jobs and generated hundreds of millions of dollars in economic activity.
If somebody can grab onto a position on Heartland, they know they've got some security.
It also draws a lot of tourists.
People from around the world that come to Alberta just to experience the Heartland world.
Heartland has viewers in more than 120 countries, including a big fan base in the UK, Australia, Brazil, and Southeast Asia. In 2023, it was the 9th most streamed TV show in the United States.
That it speaks to so many people is really about the stories that we tell. They're kind of universal stories about families, the struggles and the joys.
Stories this team hopes to continue telling for some time.
They're always talking about the 5-year plan, so maybe we'll be having the same conversation in season 25.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Millerville.
Alberta Open Farm Days is also back this weekend. The annual event lets Albertans experience farm life and learn more about where their food comes from. You can talk with farmers, sample food, meet animals, and tour breweries, orchards, and ranches. The theme of this year's Open Farm Days is rangelands and pastoralists. More than 100 farms and local businesses are participating this year, with each offering a different experience. The events are free to attend. For a list of participating farms in your area, visit albertaopenfarmdays.ca. A new light show is coming to Pigeon Lake this weekend. The Zoo is an upcycled metal workshop and gallery featuring artwork made out of scrap metal. Starting at 10 a.m., the event will have live metal cutting demonstrations, shop tours, kids' craft tables, lawn games, and hot dogs. At 7:30 p.m., the forest will be lit in colored lights. There will also be campfires and live music. The event is free to attend. Organizers are hosting a free pancake breakfast the next morning at 10 a.m. with donations going to the South Pigeon Lake Fire Department. Stay with us. The extraordinary effort to save an animal in need.
Picked it up, wrapped my mouth around its mouth and its nose and gave it a breath of life.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you tonight on CTV.
Next week on Your Morning, how to handle it when your child has a meltdown in public. Plus, we talk to Mayor Andrew Knack about what it will actually take to revitalize downtown.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
A group of people from a Vancouver Island village came together using both music and mouth-to-mouth to rescue a trio of baby otters. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains.
After looking past the crowd, Robin Quirk saw what seemed like a wet sock on the dock.
I just moved. You know, there's no hesitation. You just go and help.
So Robin raced over to the baby river otter and built a shelter to protect it before hearing what had been done to rescue it.
And there were 3 otters wrapped in fishing net. The third one was wrapped up so bad that it was motionless and the head was laying in the water.
After Gordon Mellish pulled the tangled trio out of the ocean, he cut the first 2 free before returning to the third, who wasn't moving.
It didn't look like it was going to survive, but you got to try.
So the former logger and fisherman did what he'd done to 10 other humans before, but never an otter.
And I gave the heart a little pump. Nothing was going on, so I actually grabbed it, picked it up, wrapped my mouth around its mouth and its nose and gave it a breath of life.
You performed CPR on an otter.
Yeah, I know.
After the baby started breathing on its own, Robin took over, following expert advice and caring for the otter overnight in her car.
You know how if you can't get your baby to sleep, you take it for a drive? Well, the otter slept the whole way.
And like a mother might sing her baby a lullaby, Robin would whistle to the otter.
You're responsible for this life.
After driving the otter to the wild animal rescue, the baby spent a week being rehabilitated before Robin picked him up and met with Gordon to release him.
But before she went to go swim away, she turned back, looked at me, and we made eye-to-eye contact, and she nodded her head and then took away and swam away.
And they didn't see the pup again until someone sent Robin this video, and she rushed down to the water where it was taken.
And started whistling. All of a sudden, there was this little otter, and I said aloud, "Oh, buddy, you're alone." And then
a second baby appeared, then a third, followed by their mom.
And I went, "Oh man, we did it. We united the family."
And by we, Robin is acknowledging the more than a dozen people who also stepped up to support the baby along the way, including Gordon, who brought it back to life with his breath.
A life's a life, no matter what it is. Just try to do your best to save it.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
That is our show for this evening. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, check out our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Have a great weekend, everyone.